Today I'm going to bring up an issue again that I've talked about numerous times in my other videos, but I want to highlight a pretty clear example of what I'm talking about. I saw a documentary, and it's really not that bad of a documentary. I put it in a link box, and it's titled "Body of War," in which a veteran of the war in Iraq returns home after being, I think, in his first week of combat, shot and paralyzed from the neck down, I believe. So he comes back home, and he's, after they give him his Purple Heart, and everybody feels sympathy for him and whatever. They give him his Purple Heart. He returns home, and his then girlfriend decides, let's do something romantic. I'm gonna marry him. I'm gonna marry him now. I guess she felt some temporary pride in the sacrifice he made for his country, which is bullshit, and I'll get into that later. I advise men to stop sacrificing yourself for your country, because your country doesn't give a shit about you, to be frank. But let me continue on. So she marries him, and you can almost see a progression from the role of wife to cheating slut as the documentary goes by. There's a lot that's not being said in the documentary, but you can put two and two together just by watching it. In the beginning, she plays the role of the doting, caring wife, and once she realizes, this is going to be a lot of hard work, and I'm not going to be getting sex, she actually complains. She has the nerve to complain that after voluntarily marrying a man who was paralyzed, that she's not getting enough sex. She actually says that in the movie. She says, "I think we've had sex 5 times since we've been married." Well, what the hell do you think? What did you think that was going to happen? Do you think he's going to, pounce out of that chair like a virile tiger and bend you over the rails or something? What the hell did you think was going to happen? But whatever, I'm going off on a tangent. Let me continue. So probably approaching the middle of the documentary, she gets this job at a bar, and so you already know where this is headed, right? She gets this job at a bar, and all of a sudden, well, I think she was a bartender or something. So all of a sudden, she's getting all this attention from guys who frequent bars. What a surprise! And here her husband is home paralyzed. And all of a sudden, you see a change in her around the middle of the video. From the beginning to around the middle, she was always kind of depressed and kind of down on herself or whatever. In the middle of the video, you start to see this change because, well, she's getting some attention from other men outside of the bar, which she's already has it in her mind that she's going to cheat. Towards the end of the documentary, you see this. I mean, if I were to show you the girl right in the beginning and right in the end, in the final interview, because they do end up getting divorced. Surprise, surprise, by the way. I'm sorry. It's just amazing how men just continue to fall for this stupid patriotic crap. When they have these tributes to the soldiers, these people, and they go up to these soldiers that they don't even know, and they're like, I just want to thank you for everything that you do to protect us. And I'm just like, you fake ass, sanctimonious, self-gratifying piece of shit, man. They don't give a shit about that soldier. They don't care about him. They just want to fill their own patriotic quota for the day so that they can feel good about themselves. Americans are some of the most, Americans and patriotism is like a crackhead in crack. When they talk about patriotism, their eyes get glazed over, all sense goes out the window, and they just, they get this look on their face like they're under this euphoria. They feel so good about talking about the fact that we're sending our soldiers away to go shoot people. And that's what it is. Our soldiers are at this point are nothing more than hired guns, mercenaries. We're not fighting for any just cause. But whatever. I'm not going to give you a breakdown on my thoughts on Iraq and Afghanistan. So yeah, back to the story. Towards the end of the documentary, we see that they are divorced or split up or whatever, and they're interviewing her. I guess it's the final interview of the documentary, and she's all wearing all this makeup, eyeshadow. Her body language has changed, everything that she does, you know, even in the simple mannerisms, reflect a bitch in heat. And I'm not going to put it any other way. I'm going to call her what she is, a bitch in heat. This is the thanks that you get, men, for fighting for your country. A woman that ends up cheating on you, draining your bank account, and you come back and, you know, America doesn't give a shit about you. It already got what it wants. You know, either your blood or somebody else's blood at the business end of your military-issued rifle. So this video, I guess, is just me telling men once again to absolutely and 100% reject the militaries of the West, boycott them, show them what you really feel about them. I mean, we are not pieces of meat that can be shuffled across a chessboard for the interest of people that we would probably never even know or meet, and people that don't care about our lives. We are not disposable any longer. And I'm just reiterating this. You know, stop fighting for your country. You know, fuck your country. I mean, I'm going to just say that right now. Fuck your country. Your country doesn't give a shit about you. This is the point that I'm trying to hammer home. It's not about being anti-American, because truth be told, I don't give a shit if you're in the UK. I don't give a shit if you're here in the States or in any other country. Refuse to fight. Refuse to fight. The only time that you should fight is when you have to defend yourself, you know. And I'm all for self-defense. I'm all for male self-defense in every regard. You know, I'm all for people being armed, so that if anybody fucks with you, you can just shoot them and kill them. You know, I mean, if anybody fucks with you, as in taking away your rights, infringing upon any of your rights, then you shoot them, and that's it. But fighting for your country, nah, fuck that shit. No, there's nothing that men gain and benefit from it. Let them start putting the feminists on the front lines. I mean, your military gets all up in arms about the fact that, you know, you have don't ask, don't tell. Well, you know, I mean, you don't see them getting into a frenzy over the fact that military wives have been screwing over their husbands with impunity for the last 60 years. You know, I mean, nothing's said about that. You know, but they can bend over backwards for don't ask, don't tell. You know, these people, you know, why do you have such a high concentration of military veterans that are homeless? Why? Well, because after you do what you do, nobody gives a shit. And first and foremost, let me say this: as a man, what do you think? As a man, why do you believe that you should be entitled to anything for going and listening blindly to the orders of a government that has historically averaged a major war about every 10 years? Why do you think that you should be rewarded for that? This is what our society does. It accepts certain evils and even glorifies them. This is the same thing that happens with abortion. Anybody who actually examines the issue of abortion knows that on some level it's wrong, even instinctively. But because our society refuses to take women into account, this is a massive evil that our society tolerates, because nobody wants to approach or confront the very uncomfortable notion that women are wrong. It's the same thing with military service. Nobody wants to approach and say what we all know, is that these wars are bullshit, and we are busy extinguishing men in massive numbers for reasons that nobody can accurately pin down and identify. Everybody has a different reason why we're fighting these wars. None of them are correct, and most of them are filled with indoctrination and bullshit. It is time that men let go of this romance that we have, this fetish that we have of glorifying war and death and destruction. Now, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with defending yourself, but your country, no. A fundamental change is required in how we view our relationship with our country. That's all I got to say about it for now.